If you're a Catholic husband whose wife has little or no interest in sex, you are carrying one of the hardest crosses a man has to carry. You feel rejected as a man, starved as a husband, and very often you feel completely stuck. The secular world says, just leave her, or cheat, or watch porn. You deserve better. Some online Catholic spaces say, shut up, offer it up, and never mention it again. Neither of those is what the church actually teaches. Today, I'm going to walk you through a clear Catholic way forward when your wife has no interest in sex, so that you can keep your soul, fight for your marriage, and stop living in quiet despair. Stay with this to the end, because I'll also show you how to get practical help inside our Patriarchy community and from my 24/7 AI marriage coach, Nolan Bot, so you're not trying to carry this alone. Now, here's the question I got from my husband. Well, I'm a Catholic man. My wife has basically no interest in sex. We can go for weeks, even months, without intimacy. If I bring it up, she gets upset, says she's tired or stressed, or that I'm making her feel pressured. I'm trying to avoid porn. I'm going to mass, but I feel abandoned in my own marriage. What am I supposed to do? If that sounds anything like you, let's go step by step. Step 1. Name the problem clearly, without panicking. First thing, you can't fight a fog. You have to get clear about what kind of problem this is. In most of the cases I see in coaching, and also most of the cases that guys bring to the AI coach, it usually falls into one of a few categories. Category 1, exhaustion and hormones. She's genuinely worn out, maybe postpartum, health issues, perimenopause, or chronic sleep deprivation. Category 2, resentment and emotional disconnection. She doesn't feel cherished, doesn't feel understood, doesn't trust you emotionally, and her body has frozen up in response. Category 3, trauma, scruples, or formation issues. Maybe she has sexual trauma or grew up with very distorted messages about sex. Or she thinks any enjoyment is automatically dirty, even inside marriage. Category 4, your own sins and habits. Porn, masturbation, harshness, emotional absence, or constantly complaining about sex in a way that makes her feel used rather than loved. Most marriages have a mix of these. So before you start demanding anything, be brutally honest with yourself. What exactly is going on here? And how much of this is mine to repent of first? That leads to step 2. Repent first. You can't lead from hypocrisy. If you're consuming porn, masturbating, or flirting online while complaining about her lack of intimacy, you are trying to plant seeds in poisoned soil. As Catholic men, we start with our own sin. So if that's you, the next practical step is not another argument with your wife. The next step is confession. Not a vague, I've kind of struggled with purity, but a concrete confession. I've been using porn. I've been masturbating. I've been unfaithful in my thoughts and in how I use my body. Then you change the inputs. Get filters on your devices. Change your routines. Get real accountability. Stop bathing your brain in lust. And then blaming your wife for not matching your fantasies. Now, here's a key theological point that a lot of men get wrong. Even if your wife is objectively sinning by refusing the marital debt without a serious reason, you never get permission to answer with your sin. No porn, no masturbation, no emotional affairs, no online sexting. We must obey God rather than men, even when the man or woman is our spouse. So, clean your side of the street. You can't ask her to trust you with her body while you're misusing your own. Step 3. Understand what the church actually teaches about the marital debt. Now let's talk about what Catholic moral theology actually says about sex in marriage. The church does teach about the marital debt. That means husband and wife owe each other the marital act as a duty of justice because the body has been mutually given in the vows. Refusing that intimacy for a long time without serious reason is not just a preference. It's objectively sinful. But we need to be precise here. The older moral theology manuals say to refuse the marital debt without a serious reason and for a long time can be grave matter. But to be a mortal sin, you need all three things: grave matter, full knowledge, full consent. You and I do not see her conscience. We can say this pattern is disordered, it's unjust, and it hurts the marriage. We cannot say you are definitely in mortal sin. I know the state of your soul. You're her husband, not her judge. That belongs to God and practically to her confessor. One more point. Even inside marriage, the marital act itself must remain ordered to union and openness to life. So you can't demand something intrinsically disordered or degrading and call that the marital debt. So yes, there is a real obligation here, but that obligation belongs in a framework of charity, justice, and reverence for her dignity, not in the mouth of a man using theology as a club. Step 4, have the hard conversation as a man under authority. Once you've examined yourself, gone to confession if needed, and calmed down a bit emotionally, you need to actually talk to her. Most men either avoid the conversation completely, hoping it will magically fix itself, or they explode in frustration and end up confirming her worst fears. We want a third way. Pick a calm moment, not late at night when you're already tired and frustrated. You might say something like this: look, I need to talk about something that's painful for me, and I don't want this to be an attack on you. I love you, I chose you, and I want a lifelong marriage with you. But I've been feeling lonely physically, and it's starting to affect the way I see myself and us. Notice how that's phrased. You're not saying, you never want sex, or you're frigid, or you're failing as a wife. You're starting with your experience, not an accusation. Now, this means you can start with a softer tone so she doesn't get defensive. Then you invite her perspective. Can you help me understand how you experience intimacy right now? Is it exhaustion, stress, feeling disconnected, past experiences? I'd rather know the truth, even if it's uncomfortable, than stay in the dark. Then shut up and listen. Resist the urge to argue with every sentence. Your goal with this first conversation is not to win a debate. Your goal is to finally see the real battlefield, the common enemy that you two together are facing. She is not the enemy. Step 5, build safety and polarity at the same time. Here's the paradox. For your wife, desire doesn't usually start in the bedroom. It starts with safety and respect during the day. If her nervous system is constantly in fight or flight from kids, stress, tension with you, or your harshness, her body is not going to say, great time for sex. So, what does building safety look like for most wives I work with? You stop weaponizing silence and sulking when you don't get sex. You increase non-sexual touch, hand on the lower back, hugs, kisses on the forehead, sitting close when you watch something with no immediate pressure for intercourse. You put your phone away and give her actual attention. You get more structured with money, with the kids, with your own self-discipline. So she doesn't feel like the only adult in the house with you as an extra child. That makes her feel maternal towards you, not sexual. At the same time, you also work on polarity. You grow in strength, direction, and backbone rather than groveling. You lift, you pray, you lead on finances, make decisions instead of always deferring and then resenting her. I say this a lot inside the Patriarchy Skool community, that no woman wants to see her man like he's another child. Safety plus polarity is the combination most men completely miss. They either become doormats or tyrants. Neither sustains desire. Step 6, clarify expectations about the marital debt without turning into a cop. So once you've cleaned up your own habits, really listened, and started to build safety and polarity, then you can gently bring in the language of duty. Something like, the church says we really owe each other the marital act, unless there's a serious reason. I don't want sex on demand. I don't want you to feel used. But I also can't pretend that going months without intimacy is normal for a marriage, or healthy for me as a man or for our family. How can we move even one step closer to a more regular, loving intimacy? So you're anchoring this in both your real needs as a man and also the church's teaching about the marital debt. But you're doing it in a tone of love, not accusation and prosecution. Here's the Thomistic insight again, because it really matters. Long-term refusal without serious reason can be grave matter, but you don't get to declare mortal sin from the sofa like you're the local bishop. State the truth about marriage, invite her to take it seriously, and then leave her conscience between her and God. Your job is to make it as easy as possible for her to respond well through your own conversion, your leadership, and your tenderness. Not to stand over her with catechism like a traffic warden, or like you're in some kind of theology debate with another man online. She's a woman. Remember that. Step 7. What if nothing changes? The cross you didn't choose. Now, we come to the hardest question. Well, what if I do all of this and she still shuts down? What if she simply refuses long term? I'm not going to lie to you. There are marriages where a husband is treated unjustly in this area for years and years. And there's no tidy, pain-free solution. In those cases, Catholic moral theology is very clear. You don't get a free pass to porn, to affairs, or to abandoning your vows. You are called to patience, prayer, and bearing the cross with Christ. Doesn't mean you say nothing. You should keep bringing it up respectfully from time to time. You can seek marriage counseling with a faithful Catholic therapist or priest. You can also seek coaching with other Catholic men who understand. But you might still be asked to carry a very heavy cross. If that's you, remember this: your suffering is not pointless. If you unite it to the cross of Christ, offering it for your wife's healing, for your children's holiness, and your own purification, then you are doing exactly what a Catholic husband is supposed to do under fire. You're not failing as a man because you can't force your wife to respond. You only fail as a man if you use her sins or her wounds as an excuse to destroy your own soul. Now, step 8, you don't have to do this alone. If you're watching this thinking, that's me, I'm in this exact situation and have no one in real life I can talk to about it, that's exactly why we built the Patriarchy Skool community and also the Nolan Bot, the AI marriage coach. Inside Patriarchy Skool, you'll find other Catholic and Christian husbands dealing with exactly these issues, step-by-step frameworks for leadership, boundaries, communication, and intimacy, and you'll get access to Nolan Bot on WhatsApp 24/7. So when it's 2 a.m., you're tempted to spiral into porn or despair, you can pick up your phone and talk it through instead. Now, if you want to go deeper on this, click on the link in the description to Patriarchy Skool, start your free trial, get inside the community, and stop trying to carry this cross alone in the dark. I'll see you inside. Thanks for watching.